If the power grid went down right now, would you be able to talk to someone? In a disaster, networks can become overloaded, and sometimes trying to get hold of anyone or even loved ones can be very difficult. So today I'm going to do a video about how to be prepared for anything. Within reason, obviously. So what we're going to look at today is my portable radio, HF radio, that can be used in any situation. It's a completely off-the-grid radio. And I have multiple power sources for it. It's in a compact carry case, so it's easy to get from one location to another, or you can use it as a simple home base. So this is the USDX Plus clone of the true SDX, which if you've obviously got one, then you know that they're decent little performers and they only use a very small amount of power. On top of this, I have an ATU, so I can tune in if I'm having particular trouble getting my SWR down to an acceptable level, because obviously you don't want to blow up your radio. It might be your only form of communication. So we're just going to go around this. I'll bring it a bit closer to the camera so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. This is all 3D printed, this enclosure. I can put the STL files down in the description if you're interested. This is a 18650 battery holder that I put together, and this just clamps onto the side. I've used a type of plastic glue that's particularly good for PLA. Then this is wired into the back of the radio, and I can put my antenna here, and yeah, off I go. So it's a really simple setup, but it is incredibly useful. And like I say, it only runs off of 12 volts, and for that reason you can pretty much hook it up to anything really, even car batteries. So most car batteries run at 12 volts. So again, in a disaster situation, not likely that you would be out there pinching people's car batteries, but if you needed it, then it's a possibility. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly go through and show you how this powers on and how it works. So I've got my batteries here that have been fully charged. These are 18650 batteries, and they are running at 3.5 volts, and they hold 3.5 amp hours each, which is more than enough for this particular type of radio. So I'm just going to get these in here like so. And there we are, all put together, and I can power this on. The ATU also has an internal battery that can be charged using a power bank. Again though, the ATU is not necessary, but it is nice to have. I mean, the radio itself is very inexpensive. You can get them for under £100, and yeah, they work. They're not amazing. They cover 8 bands, so you won't get the full HF spectrum, but you will get a good enough amount that if you need to listen into something, or if you need to get in communication with somebody, you know, a family member that may be living far away, that kind of thing. in the UK, you can get your license through the Radio Society of Great Britain, or RSGB. I've got a foundation license which allows me to use up to 20 watts, and basically allows me to use a lot of different radios. So it's always worth doing. It's not a particularly hard test to do. It's not overly expensive, and you could have kit set up, stashed away, even if you have no intention of ever using this for social reasons or for the hobby. You can do your license, put one of these away, and then come back to it as and when you need to, as long as you remember how to use it properly and the proper protocols, because if not, then obviously that can cause a lot of problems, especially in a disaster situation and emergency communications are trying to get through and you're just interrupting them, talking over them. It can cause problems. Right, so I will be back in a minute. I am just going to get this hooked up to an antenna, and then we'll just quickly go through the ins and outs of this particular type of radio. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, welcome back. It's all hooked up now and we're ready to give this a quick demonstration. I'm not going to call out CQ because I haven't got my logging software up, and you're supposed to keep a log of every communication you make, so we are literally just going to listen in and see what's happening. So I'm just going to switch it on now. So this is currently on the data bands, the data band on 20 meters, so I'm just going to switch up to some voice channels.
Sugar 35 Mike Tango, you copy 5 and 910. Thank you so much, ciao, thanks, T77 Lima, Alpha QZ. Sugar Papa 5 again, Sugar Papa 5 only.
There we are. So as you can see, this was picking up great. Now the antenna I'm using is an end-fed half-wave that I have running down my garden. Again, I don't necessarily need to use that, but it's what I've got currently set up. So I'm just going to swap through. Okay, there we are. Yeah, so I'm using an end-fed half-wave, like I said, that I've got running down the garden. Now I do have a portable antenna that I can take out for field use, and I'll just show you that now. So again, there's going to be another quick pause, and then we'll be back for the antenna. Welcome back. Right, the antenna I've got here is a JPC 12. It's a telescoping antenna that you can change the frequency on using this load coil, which I'm just going to get this out for you now. It can be a little bit finicky to get them out, but if you have a look here, as you can see, that little red notch, red line there, that is for the 20 meter band. And then this one down here is for, I think, 80 meters. I may be wrong. And you've got your bands in between as well, and above or below. I mainly use 20 meters. That's my go-to frequency, or my go-to band, should I say. But I have used this out and about, and it is very simple to set up. You've got all your poles here, as you can see, and you just put it all together, spike it into the ground, and off you go. It's tuned. I never need to use the ATU on it, so far anyway. Every time I've used it, the SWR has always come back as 1.1, which is definitely acceptable. I've also done a few activations, POTR activations with it as well. So yeah, right, I'll be back in a minute with something else. And welcome back. So this is my VGC or VRN76. It is a absolutely fantastic little VH and UHF radio. It's definitely worth putting, the extra bit of money into it. Can do APRS, which is, in simple terms, a very basic early version of the internet. It allows for tracking positional data, and you can send messages back and forth as well, which is absolutely fantastic if the internet were to go down or if cell phone networks went down. So again, really good to have this. You can also hit local repeaters with it. You can do short range communication on the 70 centimeter band and the 2 meter band. You will get further out with a 2 meter band. On 70 centimeters, you are best using repeaters. Now, repeaters tend to have their own power source, so if the power grid were to go down, the repeaters, or some repeaters, not all, but some repeaters would manage to keep running for some time after, especially if they're solar powered. Again, these are dotted all around the country, and any country that has an amateur radio society of any kind will also have repeaters. Again, really inexpensive. You can pick up incredibly cheap handhelds like this one here. This is Baofeng or Baofeng, or whatever you want to call it. Really cheap. I think I bought this for £15, if that. So again, for what it's going to cost you, it's worth having. Even if you don't have a license, you can still listen in. Again, I will reiterate this. You need your license to operate one of these. If you don't have your license and you operate it during a crisis situation and you are caught, you will be fined and possible jail time. You could be theoretically responsible for somebody's death. So do not mess around with these. They are fun toys for adults, but don't mess around with them. Again, though, really cheap, really cost effective, and you can get some incredibly good range on these. These have no APRS, they have no extended or extra functions. They are very simple radios for the 70 centimeter band and the 2 meter band, and is it PMR 466, which is the free open license channels that most cheap walkie-talkies, radios use. Best way to describe it is a lot of people who work on industrial sites, security, that kind of stuff, they will use some form of these free channels. And there has been times when I've been listening in and I have heard people nattering away on it. But again, the range on it is not particularly great, and I wouldn't trust it in an emergency situation. But yeah, so I'm going to put that back there. So in an emergency situation, these two items here, I wouldn't say it can mean life or death. We're not going to be that dramatic about it, but it doesn't hurt to have it. Amateur radio as a hobby as a whole is, one of my favourite hobbies. I enjoy it. I find it fantastic. It's fun. It's engaging. It's technical, and it's different. But as a prepper's item, it can be incredibly valuable. It can save lives. It can help you create lines of communication. Whereas if the cell towers go down, if the phone networks go down, if the internet goes down, you have no other way of communicating. And this gives you that option. So yeah, if you've got any questions, or if there's any confusion about anything, I will do my best to answer. And thank you very much for watching the video. I do hope this has been helpful, enlightening in some way. I am an amateur radioist. That's what I am. I'm not a prepper. I enjoy amateur radio, but I am by no means an expert. I know enough so that I am competent to use the radios, but I am not an expert. So I'm, with that, I'm just going to say goodbye and hope to see you soon.